Netflix spends $15 billion a year producing 500 hours of original content per quarter. On the other side, 500 hours of original content is uploaded to YouTube per minute. So there's this massive margin, again, of consumer spending in original content production that hasn't been met in the middle.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the video distribution category. I'm super excited to be here with Sam. Sam is the founder and CEO of Special. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Awesome. Why are we having this conversation? We looked at well over 130 companies, what we call in the video distribution category. And one of the companies that really stood out to us was Special. What actually makes them so special is the focus that they have specifically on the creator community and those who are actually creating content in ways in which not only they will be able to distribute content, but actually build a platform that enables them to engage with their audience and have a little bit more control of that engagement as well as their content as well. It's a much different approach, and I think a lot of the other video distribution categories more focused on how you just mass spread content, and this is a little bit more focused on the creators. And I think it's a really unique and fantastic approach overall, and especially as we see this evolution of media and content being a little bit more focused on creators themselves. So with that, Sam, before we even jump into the questions about your platform, maybe you have a visual for us that gives at least the audience a baseline understanding of who is Special, and then we'll get into questions. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds great, Kyle. Yeah, as Kyle mentioned, my name's Sam, founder of Special, and we are what we call an independent streaming service. And our mission is to empower the creation and exchange of meaningful content. And really in this world of subscription media, I think on one end and on the creator economy on the other end, our objective is to build a platform, like Kyle said, that empowers creators to own their audience, own their content, own their monetization. And we do that in many ways, but we really delineate that into the independent streaming service. We're not like any other streaming service where we're buying content or we're picking who is going to be on the platform. Anyone can sign up and be a creator and distribute. And on the other side, anyone can be a consumer and find creators they love and also stream independent. And what that means to us is you're not subscribing to a mass bundle of media, but actually just the channels or just the creators that you actually watch. You're free to unsubscribe at any time. We are a marketplace at the end of the day as an independent streaming service. We have creators, the supply, we have subscribers, the demand. Granted, a subscriber could become a creator, just a host and a traveler on Airbnb. But our objective is really to let creators or to help creators turn their creative potential into a thriving media business. Right now, you think about a creator on a platform like YouTube, they really work for YouTube. Their main mission is to make content that advertisers will put their ad on and they can monetize via ad revenue. For example, on YouTube, creators earn 0.004 of a cent per view. So you need to have about 1 million views to make $4,000. That's pretty crazy. And what does that mean? That means you create content for mass appeal. That means you create content to be trending, to be clickbaity. The more eyes on that piece of content, the more ad revenue you get. And really a view is categorized as watching 20 seconds of that video. Being in that ad place really detracts the authenticity or detracts the creative potential from that creator, the reason they picked up a camera to begin with. And so again, our goal is to empower creators to independently, again, own their content, own their audience, own their revenue streams, and become a thriving media business. And on the flip side, consumers on Special are paying creators directly. So no one is subscribing to Special. You are subscribing directly to the creator or many creators. And so your subscriptions help them bring more meaningful content to life because they know they're making their content for their core audience that's putting a value on it. If I break it down, we mentioned like the algorithms, the ads, another piece on something, say like YouTube, the recommendation engine. YouTube's goal is to keep a consumer's eyeballs on the platform as long as possible. So if I'm watching a cooking video right now, it's going to recommend me a different video from a different creator. It might not even be about cooking. It might be like a Grammy performance, whatever can keep someone engaged longer. Therefore, they're detracting away for creators. On the flip side, you think about an Amazon Prime Video. Just last week, they said they're no longer accepting documentaries, They're no longer accepting this type of creator, something like Netflix. If you're not the winner of Sundance Film Festival, you're not allowed on this platform. So this big like margin of the middle class of creators between a YouTube and Netflix is massive and growing. And I don't think they have a home. And that's, really what we're trying to do is create a home for creators where their audience and their fans matter most. Their audience and their content matter most. And really create a home where a creator is free to do whatever type of content they like and know that they can experiment, know that they can be, themselves, and consumers will come and pay and engage with them. How do we do that? What is a home for a creator? What is like a real value prop here? Well, I see 4 on the creator side, and under the umbrella of anyone can sign up and be a creator today. We've completely eliminated the barriers to entry to subscription video by giving creators out of the box unlimited global distribution and monetization. That means you can upload a video on Special under your channel, and someone in Asia can watch that video. Someone in Australia can watch that video. Someone in Africa can watch that video. It's not just right here in the US. Same with monetization. You could be a creator based out of Europe and have viewers around the world paying, subscribing to you, and managing that distribution and monetization. That's huge. That's not readily accessible in terms of a monetized piece of content elsewhere. Also, you keep 100% of your own of your ownership of content. We don't buy content. We're not in the business of buying content. We don't want to be in the business of buying content. We are strictly providing the platform that facilitates your content and your consumers. Creators can remain independent versus selling, 90% of their content rights to one of the major streaming services and losing control. You also take home 90% of your subscription revenue. Just for comparison, on a platform like Twitch, they take 50%. Amazon Prime, they take 50% of every like pay-per-view. Amazon Prime only pays 12 cents per view, according to YouTube's 4,000ths of a cent per view. And then YouTube takes 60% of all of your ad revenue. Wherever you go in this video world, the creators are getting, hounded and really commoditized for their work. And so we are creator first. We are creator friendly. We are creating that home so they can take home 90% of their revenue. That 10%, that's our cut. We take that. We make the platform better. And lastly, access to your audience, data and viewership analytics. So most platforms like a Netflix, like an Amazon Prime Video, you actually don't have access to any of your analytics or your audience. Even on a YouTube, you couldn't actually just reach out to one of your subscribers and contact them. And so we're giving you everything. What does everything mean? Fundamentally, it means an email address. As someone who pays you, you have their email, you can contact them. And then it goes down the line of geography, how much content they watched, how much they paid you over time, lifetime value, what this consumer is more interested in versus this one under your umbrella of subscribers. And on the subscriber side, you subscribe directly to the creators you love, and you create an entertainment experience unique to you. So on Special, you might subscribe to 1 creator, you might subscribe to 5 creators. Your household might have subscription for the spouse, the kids, the grandma, whatever. Kyle's subscriptions on Special when he opens the app will look completely different than mine if you come to my house and open the app. That's not only special to creators to go direct to fan, but it's also special to us consumers to create that unique entertainment experience. And there's content all over the board on Special in this, and you might find an outdoor expedition show that you watch once a week. There might be a cooking show. You might also subscribe to a fitness creator for your workout routine. It's really up to the creators to onboard and distribute, and up to the consumers to choose how they want to watch. And then lastly, Special being a platform and a marketplace, there's network effects, and that's really meaningful to us. So the more creators come on the platform, the more unique and diverse audiences come to the platform, the whole network is increasing in value. So as consumers create more subscriptions, and as creators find their lanes and their niches, we're covering more ground. And hopefully our goal is to, make real impact through content and creativity. It's super easy. You sign up, you make content, you brand your channel on Special, you set your monthly or annual subscription price, you hit publish, We facilitate all of the distribution and that monetization. We deposit your revenue on the first of every month. A couple quick screenshots that I've thrown in here, but this would be an example of a channel that a creator would set up. They have their own catalog. It looks like they have their own streaming service here. You can have series, playlists, courses. We're trying to give you a more premium level of organization to engage and experience through your content. We're giving creators the ability to engage with their audience then as well, with discussions and forums, all right next to your video catalog. This might be in the form of an update on the production of your next series, or this might be a survey of what do you guys want to see us do next? Whatever means a creator wants to use and engage with their audience to increase the value of their channel. Fully mobile responsive. And lastly, I think this is where it gets really interesting, and we're not here yet, but the whole vision of Special is to completely unbundle subscription media and make the entry point to the subscription video on demand economy zero. So on Special, our full vision is that a creator on board Special creates their channel, grows their subscription membership business, but with that one click of posting a video, you're immediately distributing to mobile, web, and smart TVs. So a consumer could open up Special, access their subscriptions that they've subscribed to on Special, and then watch right from the couch or on the go on a phone or on a laptop, etc.
Thank you for sharing that. I like the visuals as well, especially at the end, being able to see the interface and the long-term vision about looking how you can implement on and seeing how your product expands into, especially being an app on television. I think, again, looking at your focus on understanding that there's this decentralization of content creators and there's no one middleman now that controls the whole pipeline, and kind of being that tool that enables any creator really to reach the mass audiences, but also at the same time be able to have control of that experience and own it, and also take majority of the share of the revenue that they actually generate from their content. I think is a long-term vision. I think it's a fantastic approach. Before I jump into questions about the platform, I'm just curious, is there a backstory behind why you started Special?
I started my first business with my co-founder, Paul Burton, in college at Montana State University. And that was a company called Triple Tree Software. We were building custom software applications, SaaS products for venture-backed companies, mobile apps, web apps, et cetera. And we did that for about 4 years. And then in the last 2 years, really 2018, 2019, we built 2 custom video on demand platforms for 2 unique clients. So we started to find our niche in building video distribution software that was protected by a paywall, where the businesses, our clients, had a very niche audience with niche premium content that they didn't want to put on YouTube. They didn't want to put it, or they had no opportunity to put it, anywhere else. But they wanted to protect it and manage that premium experience and make money off it. And so after we did that twice, we had many other businesses reach out and say, I want that. I want you guys to build us that as well. And this was custom software engineering. So these are high 6-figure budgets. And we'd spend 1.5 years building these for our clients. And then once we had seven other businesses reach out for the same thing. Handful of them, the price tag was too high, but just going through that process made me realize, had this aha moment, subscription media is unbundling. If businesses are willing to pay this much over 1.5 years to build this fully custom, there needs to be a platform that completely eliminates the barrier to entry. Because the fundamental piece that I think was missing is when a content company starts to confuse themselves with being a technology business and invests all of their resources into building technology, when the reason they exist in the first place is the quality of their content. And we wanted to say, no. Keep doing what you do best. Create incredible content for your audience. We'll manage the technology stack. We'll give it to you for free, and we'll take a percentage. So we have aligned incentives. And so that aha moment was like November of 2019. And then we founded Special and raised our seed funding. And we're off to the races April 1st of 2020. So the clients gave us the vision, but really we started to look at the market. When I keep mentioning unbundling of subscription media, and at the top level you have Netflix, and now it seems every month a new streaming service comes out, and then Disney and Warner Media and HBO and Peacock, and we all saw Quibi, So subscription media is definitely unbundling. We can't compete in the arena of spending $1 billion a year to produce content. And that comes back to, we don't want to own it. But who has all of the original content in the world? And that is like the YouTube creators, the podcasters, the people on the internet. For example, I think the stat that just was the most impactful to me was that that Netflix spends $15 billion a year producing 500 hours of original content per quarter. On the other side, 500 hours of original content is uploaded to YouTube per minute. So there's this massive margin, again, of consumer spending in original content production that hasn't been met in the middle. And that's what we're doing at Special.
I know you hit this home a few times, especially just now in your backstory, but then also in the slides that you mentioned before. And I just want to reiterate, because I think it is really important. It seems like you have this blend of both a marketplace and creators can have like their own branded experience that they can build within the marketplace. And I'm just curious, why this standalone platform? Why create this setup and this type of marketplace, but then also white label? Why isn't it like here, create your own website, have your own video, and that's just a white label platform? And you merge both worlds. So I'm just curious why this approach. I know we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Earlier. I think it's really wanted to highlight.
Yeah, totally. Definitely. I think for starters, the two best business models in the world are marketplaces and subscriptions. And so we've merged the two here, and it's no easy task. It's really difficult. It really is, because most marketplaces have an existing asset, and the asset is a one-off purchase. Think of a home. People already had a home, so they can just list it, and it's a one-off purchase. Where with Special, people are fully running a business on Special. Not to say you aren't in other marketplaces, but on Special, a creator is always having to create that asset over and over again. And that's like a piece of video content, right? Whether that's a new video every week or a new video every month. So we have all of these subscription media businesses running on this marketplace. But the fundamental reason why we built a platform, because we're not like a Shopify where you sign up, you use your own URL and you customize it and it's Kyle.com. We are on a platform. So creators' URLs are like special.tv/Kyle. But the fundamental reason we chose to build a platform was for the consumer. And as subscription media continues to unbundle, as the amount of subscriptions that every household increases, which it is, I think in 2020, the average household had like 3 to 4 subscriptions, and it's only increasing. But as a consumer has more subscriptions, you're creating an account here, you're creating an account here, you're adding your payment information here, you're doing that over and over again. And that's the biggest barrier to entry, is like the cognitive overload of remembering where all of this is, and also having to go through the same account creation, payment process, and cancellation over and over again across 4, 5, 6, 7 apps. So we wanted to put it all under one roof for the consumer, so they can have a single destination to manage one-to-many subscriptions, and they can one-click subscribe, one-click unsubscribe, and be free to also independently, stream meaningful content. So that was the biggest piece. The second piece would be the network effect. So a creator that's doing a white labeled one-off SVOD service under their own domain somewhere has to market their content 100% on their own. They're driving traffic to their island versus being a part of a network. Not only are you converting your audience, but there's also this like backfill of audience that might be ready and willing to subscribe to what you're doing. And you're going to be found on a platform. All the biggest creators in the world got to be big by being on a platform. So we wanted to say, let's just keep that going by giving them control, giving their own page. But why get rid of the network effects? That's the most powerful thing on the internet. And then the last piece, which is extremely valuable as well, is by being on a platform in terms of video distribution, we can build the Special mobile app. We can build the Special smart TV suite of apps. And again, with one click, you are distributing to every device around the world. Now, if you were going to do that one-off white labeled approach, the price is going to cost 100 times more. On Special, it's free to go everywhere. But if you're going to build one custom, now you're a technology team. So Special would be a service business if we wanted to build a custom mobile app for every creator, a custom smart TV app for every creator. And we'd have to charge you like, $50,000 just to start. By going the white labeled approach, it works well. If you just want to be on web, you lose the network effect, you lose the consumer friendly approach. But where it really hits home on the creator side is you don't get the omni-channel distribution.
You already answered my question, because one of this weird mix, especially in the media category, regardless of the content format, there's always this weird blend of figuring out how to manage the discoverability aspect with also making sure that you could still control that audience experience.
Yep.
It doesn't matter the content, whether it's news and politics, whether it's sports or entertainment, whether it's just funny meme culture, whatever, it doesn't matter. It seems like there's always just this clash, and then figuring out how to keep discoverability, maybe drive people off the platform to thinking about paying for another service, and that forces creators to think creatively about how they're going to monetize as well. And I want to just follow up on that point specifically. I know you pretty much answered my question already, but what has been your thoughts on this mix of discoverability problem that creators have, but then at the same time managing their own experiences?
I think it's a great question. There's a lot to unpack there. Maybe I'll start with on special. It's really important to us that we are creator first in terms of how we manage a recommendation engine. And so like if you subscribe to, say, a motorsports channel, we aren't going to serve you other motorsports channels that we think you would also like, because now we're competing the original motorsports channel. You came here for your dollars. And if that creator has brought their audience over, we want to, help them retain that audience in their subscription membership. So the way we think about recommendation engines is more like, what are the other pieces to a consumer bundle that they might tack on to a motorsports channel? Might that be like a travel channel? Might that be like a camp kitchen channel? Might that be like another piece of the bundle? And then like on our homepage, we serve staff picks. So we'll pick like people that we think are interesting here and there, but it won't be based off numbers like audience size, or this person is the biggest creator on special, so we're just going to blast that. It'll be more so around like storytelling and the quality of their content and their authenticity, to really be like this horizontal approach to creators. And then in terms of discoverability, really most of the audience that comes to special is going to come from a creator themselves. So we're not out here like blasting marketing out to find subscribers. We're helping the creator acquire and retain their audience. So for the most part, someone's going to come from a YouTube channel and land on that creator's channel on special, or someone's going to come from an Instagram profile or a Facebook profile or a TikTok profile. And so we really encourage creators to maintain their presence on all of these social media apps, because that it's social media at the end of the day. Just like any business, if you're selling Yeti coolers, you're on Instagram creating content to be discovered and find an audience. The difference though is most tangible businesses then drive their social media audience to a place to buy a product. Special is that place to buy a product. So we encourage all of our creators to maintain their efforts on all social media. We consider YouTube to be social media. Be discovered, create that content that hits the algorithm and gets you, on the front page. Find your audience. And then what you're doing is you're driving your traffic to special to monetize and to earn revenue from really your biggest fans. And I think the biggest difference here is, to be big on a social media platform, 1 million views is like standard. But on special, the classic saying is you only need 1,000 true fans to be in business. And if you think about it, sure, you get 1 million views, but how many of those actually are your real fans? Can you drive 1,000 to special that pay $10 a month? You're already a 6-figure business. So that's how we think about discoverability. And then within the app, just making sure we're remaining creator first, and we're not competing creators against each other, but rather helping them, retain their audience and find a new audience organically or in a way that's putting everyone on the same pedestal.
I'm curious, the platform that you've built so far, what are the type of creators or the type of content that's being uploaded to the special TV?
I think one thing that I like to start out at the top of types of content, because types can be defined so differently. But I really like to think of content as you have like escapism, and then you have like entertainment and education. And to me, escapism is like content that is on social media. It's short form in the truth in image to 60 seconds. That is the scrolling behavior, right? You're tuning in and you're scrolling versus like mid to long form, which might be 10, 15 minutes to 2 hours long. And that's more of that like entertainment education content where rather than scrolling, you're sitting down and you're pressing play. So at the highest level, so Special is not a social media platform. This is where you sit down and you press play. You are here for that experience with a single creator. So under that entertainment education bucket, it really varies across the board. So we have everything from small entertainment studios that are uploading a new series every quarter, and then they drop a new 30-minute episode every week for 10 weeks until they hit the next quarter and they drop a new series. So we have that web series type indie studio creator. We have documentaries creators on Special. We have a creator that makes documentaries on like the life and craft of different filmmakers and walks you through their story and their childhood all the way to their biggest films. So there's that documentary level. And then we've had a few films launch on Special. Films don't work great because you have a single piece of content and then you're stitching together bonus content to keep a subscription moving forward because a film takes so long to create. So we have those. It hasn't really stuck yet. We also have just like your YouTuber or podcaster that has their world off Special, but does a weekly premium podcast just for their subscribers. This is maybe where they come off the cuff a little bit more, or it's not as edited. It's more raw. It's just them. Or they speak about different topics outside of their like known brand out in, the free internet world. We also have fitness creators, people doing like a daily yoga class, or creators that are doing different workout routines. So it's really all over the board. We have musicians that are doing behind the scenes in their studio. This is how I wrote that song, or this is how I filmed that music video, or this is me writing my next song. And then generally speaking, I think one of the biggest kind of niche verticals on Special is this idea of a masterclass. The brand masterclass has made that known and a staple in like the educational world. But I think really what masterclass to us means is where entertainment and education collide. So education on Special is not like step 1, step 2, step 3, assessment. Okay, congrats. It's really educating a consumer in an entertaining way. So we have musicians that are teaching songwriting. We have photographers teaching their photography, style and process. But at the same time, it's something that is entertaining while you're learning something. So it's not like I'm signing up for a course.
Well, it's cool to see that you have such variety across the board at both the level of people almost creating movies or TV shows or series, all the way down to individual creators or vloggers that have their content that they want to engage with their audience. I think it's really unique. One of the things that was, again, interesting about your platform is a lot of the tools that you provide to the creators themselves. One, they can manage their brand members, they can manage their video catalog, but they can set prices, they can control, you have a way in which they can engage and communicate with their audience. You talked about even earlier that you have access to their emails, so there's a even deeper method of being able to connect with their audience as well. I'm just curious, is there any features that you might want to highlight that really resonate with your creators today?
I don't know that we have one feature that people are just flocking to. I think it's all the features wrapped up under one simple to use platform that becomes the flock mentality. So really, I think I won't call it a feature, but the idea that creators are really buying into is that in 30 minutes, you have your own Netflix. And it's simple as that. Like we've made it incredibly easy to start a subscription video platform to make a creator expand their thinking on who they are and actually being a media business overnight, just by having a catalog of their content and a paywall and the offering of a subscription for access to that content. fundamentally, I think it would be just the simplicity of special is what creators are most excited about.
Absolutely makes sense. Wrapping a platform into one and making it easier for having that, like you said, your own Netflix. I mean, having that power as a creator, I think, is impressive and fantastic. I want to shift gears away from the product itself and just more general market questions. And I'm curious in a couple of things to get your thoughts on, because the media space just constantly is evolving and is a crazy mix of lots of different things going on. One of the things that recently feels like is that there's a weird mix between creators and the relationships with the platforms that they're on. You mentioned this a little bit earlier with Netflix and Amazon Prime having thresholds about what type of content can be there, especially for individual creators. There's the fighting with platforms that don't like their content or demonetize them, or creators that are trying to think about what ways that they can create content and connect with their audience if they're not allowed to be, or they can't put their content on platforms. I'm just curious, what is your thoughts on this weird, sometimes it starts to feel like there might be turbulence between creators and the big major platforms today?
Yeah, I think there's massive turbulence. And it seems like politics is the root of the turbulence. I think the first root, though, is really advertisers. And it's this mix of politics, advertisement, and curation, where the frustration with a platform is you never know. You never know if you're going to be demonetized. You never know if they're going to change the rules of who can be on, who can't. You never know if they're going to change their algorithm and say kids content is more important than explicit, off the cuff content in the backwoods. You never know. And that's where most of the frustration comes, but is you can't trust the platform. And they don't tell you when they make a change, why they made a change, why you got demonetized, why you're not making money anymore. So I think the first piece that we're focusing on is really that trust piece, being creator first. But if I bring it back to the politics, curation, and advertisers, I think they all mix together in the same pot. But really, like, advertisers are a platform like YouTube's number one focus. Same with Facebook, any of the social platforms. Like, advertisers are how they make money, so that you're curating content for advertisers. And then you're losing trust in the platform because they're changing the algorithms based off what the advertisers want. I think where further distrust comes into play, or where this turmoil happens on platforms, is the act of these platforms being free. So all content on YouTube is technically free. Granted, you're paying the advertiser with your time just to be there. But when a platform's free, the platform has the incentive to curate and recommend content. Therefore, what you're seeing can often become political. And that's where they make further algorithmic choices, or further note this is no longer available, because now there's a responsibility to the platform and what they're serving us. And that's another piece on special, where we don't serve you content. Like, you came here, you found what you wanted, and you swiped your credit card and are paying for it. So we're never serving you anything. Therefore, we can have a really open content policy, because we're not curating what, like on a Facebook, and controlling what you believe or is not real news, because you're coming here and you're paying for this content. You are choosing what you will see thereafter. So a mix of, and then the politics just comes in both sides. Like, does an advertiser want to be on someone that's talking about this? And can we curate and serve via recommendation someone who's talking about this? I think that's where all of this distrust, which I would bundle all of it up in, is enabled for creators. And that's why they're trying to leave the platforms. So we hear that a lot from creators that are coming to special. I want my own white labeled service because I don't trust the platforms. I want to be in control. And that comes back to us being creator first, trying to our best to build trust with every creator that's on our platform, to not do the recommendation engines. We have no advertisers, so we are in control of our monetization. And then because a consumer is paying for the content that they see, they are opting into what they see. We aren't curating, so we can maintain a very open content policy. We can have someone you could subscribe to fake news, and you chose to do that. So that's on you. And maybe you have reasons why, but we didn't put that in your inbox.
Having a platform that kind of both gives the consumer or the viewer control about their own experience too, I think is a really interesting component of special. One of the things that I'm just also curious to get your thoughts on, because this is another topic, especially for just content overall, is just trying to understand the consumer and ways in which they interact with content. So, especially in the video space, you see people that seem to be willing to pay for content, and you start to see that in the Netflix and maybe in the Patreon side. On the flip side, you have companies like YouTube that pushes out content for free, and a lot of people are not. Doesn't seem like that's an audience that's not maybe not doesn't want to pay for content maybe that resides there. And so I'm just curious, what do you think is the appropriate business models for content going forward, or what do you think creators should be doing, and how they should be monetizing their content going forward?
We kind of coined this statement when we first started, but that content is the new e-commerce. And we really believe that. And I think about the first business I ever started in college was I was selling hats and t-shirts to the climbers in Bozeman, Montana. On Shopify was really the first technology that enabled anyone to be an entrepreneur, frankly, overnight. Granted, on a Shopify 10 years ago, you still had to have a product, and that product had to be manufactured, and it had to sit on a shelf, and it cost money, right? Like it was a sunk cost to have t-shirts and hats on a shelf that I was hoping to sell. And where we really believe that content is the new e-commerce, not only the massive shift in the creator economy and everyone being a creator these days, especially on a platform like TikTok, but how easy it is to now create a product that is content, right? Like every iPhone shoots 4K, and you can edit a movie on this iPhone, and you can publish it to special on this iPhone, and you can get paid to this iPhone. So all of a sudden, the ability to create a product has gone to zero. Now, Netflix will spend $10 million making something, but I can make something for free, or whatever I pay a month for a phone. But so this idea of content is the new e-commerce, I think, is where I would start there. And the barrier just to have a product is nothing. Now the barrier to distribute that product and sell that product on special is also nothing. But in that e-commerce world, we originally had the Blockbuster stores we would buy things from. Then e-commerce became this direct to consumer mission, where it's cooler to buy a pair of skis handmade in my local ski town than it is to buy a pair of skis at REI. We're seeing that same shift in subscription media, where sure, you can go to the Blockbuster stores and get these mass produced, mass appeal forms of entertainment, but there's this shift to put your consumer dollars into that localized approach, that creator that speaks my language, where I feel like I'm buying local, it's organic, it's this, it's that. But I think that's that first layer under this content is the new e-commerce. Because why buy something here when you can buy it there? Because here it speaks to you. Here it feels like it's going direct to the source. Here it's authentic. Here it hasn't been packaged up to be sold to the masses. So I think that's another layer there. And then also maybe the most fundamental layer, though, is sure, I might scroll through special and look at all the different creators and say, none of these appeal to me. And I can just find an indie pop musician on YouTube and watch their content. That's absolutely true. The creators on special, really this entire creator economy, are those that are being successful, are those that are building genuine relationships with their fans. So I might be able to find an indie pop course anywhere on the internet for free, but this one's with Mindy. And I love Mindy, and I love her music, and I want to know more about her. I want to feel a part of her world. So it's that genuine connection between a creator and their audience. And those are the people that are subscribing to creators on special.
I know we're almost at the top of the hour, and I wanted to, again, Sam, thank you so much for taking so much time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. I had one last question before we closed out. I'm just curious, where do you think the future of creator content distribution or creation or engagement with audience, where do you think the future of that is going? And maybe how do you see special in that evolution?
Yeah, totally. I'll go historically a bit here, but we started out with a Netflix, or no, we started out with cable TV, right? I won't go any further back than that because I wasn't born then. But we started out with cable TV, and you were buying a package of 5,000 channels, and you were only watching 10, and it was expensive. It was like $100 a month. Netflix comes out as a technology platform to make a bundle of content cheaper and more accessible. And now you see the cord cutters and everyone's going to Netflix. That was a massive innovation. Now you could spend like $12.99 instead of the 100 and whatever. Now we have more subscription streaming channels. So people are building their bundles back up. Now we're spending 10 on this, 10 on this, 10 on this. I think we're going to see subscription media per household go up to $100 a month again across 10 services. And now we're seeing it come out of the big players' hands and be disrupted by the creator economy, being able to go as a single individual running their own business, creating content via subscription. That happens on platforms like Patreon, like Substack, and Special. So I think we'll see even further unbundling where a household has Netflix and Disney Plus and then 4 subscriptions on Special. And then I think we're going to see even further unbundling where studios, big businesses are actually creating business models around these creator platforms, launching a full-on entertainment company on Special, launching a full-on journalism publication on Substack. And then I think what the future is going to become to your question is everything's going to get bundled back up. There's 2 types of businesses, those that unbundle and those that bundle, and it just goes through a wave. And every 10 years, it goes through the next wave. So I think we're going to see this massive unbundling where it's not just the creator economy, like individual creators using these creator tools like Special to run a business, building out this middle class of content where creators are making $100,000 to $500,000 to $1 million on platforms like Special. But the businesses will start launching on Special. And then from there, someone's going to buy it all up and package all this content right back up and offer it for some single monthly price.
Wow. It makes sense. It definitely feels, especially across a variety of different content categories, you're starting to see now that technology has enabled a lot of creators, regardless of the content that you're creating, video, music, audio, anything else, how you can now support yourself and not necessarily worry about having spend a lot of money or time on the expensive back office management or even the technology stack to connect with an audience that can be now international. And the world is absolutely massive. And like you said, it only takes 1,000 people to have a sustainable company. And I think seeing how creators have this means there's a lot of very talented people that can create content in ways that maybe not might make it into mass audience appeals, but it still has large enough audience for supporting a creator like that. I think there's just going to be an absolute explosion across the creator economy. And it's exciting to see companies like yourself seeing that early on, supporting that and building a tool that enables that long term. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. Sam, before I close out, is there anything else that you want to mention, share, or any asks that you have of the audience?
Sure. We launched our beta in November of 2020. We're launching our next iteration of that beta this month, March 2021. And we're just out here seeking creators that truly live and breathe the independent business mindset, know their creative potential, but even more so, know their value and their financial revenue potential to build an independent streaming business on Special. So anyone that's interested, shoot them our way. Outside of that, we are going to be going through our next fundraising campaign, I might call it, in fall of this year.
Awesome. Sam, again, thank you so much for taking so much time with me. I really appreciate it. And again, the audience, why we had this conversation, we looked at well over 130 companies in the video distribution category. One of the companies that stood out to us was Special for, again, their focus on enabling the creator ecosystem to be able to create content and share that in a way that's both engaging, empowers them, but gives them control and also ownership of their content, and also find the way to get into distribute content in a very large way globally across a variety of different platforms, but also make that user experience with their audience so much more personal than you probably see anywhere else. It's absolutely impressive what you built. Excited for your future. Excited that you were participating in this conference. So again, Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I hope everyone enjoyed the session.